Live to Trump Tower, as you can take a look right there. That actually is a live picture of Trump Tower in New York City as we await a news conference, and that is where the presumptive Republican nominee is set to unveil a list of those veterans groups that Mr. Trump says received millions of dollars in donation from that fundraiser that took place back in late January.
You remember that event, the one he held after skipping a presidential debate hosted by Fox News right before the Iowa caucuses. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron live at Trump Tower with more on this. Carl.
Hi, John. There have been questions really since January about when and how much Donald Trump would be contributing to these veterans groups. Back in January, he identified about 22 or so that he felt would be appropriate to receive the donations that he had solicited when he skipped that debate early in the campaign process. And he was asked last week about how much he'd given, and he said, we're going to hold a news conference next Tuesday. That's today. It caught his staff somewhat off guard, and so today there's about 170, 200-plus media people here to find out just exactly how much money he's given. In the meantime, Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, and Trump's critics across the board have been suggesting that this is just another grandstand, that he doesn't understand veterans or the military as much as he's boasted about on the campaign trail, where he famously said that he's the most militaristic in the Republican Party because he'd gone to a military prep school, and compared years ago his avoidance of sexually transmitted diseases as his own personal Vietnam, coming as this does right after the Memorial Day holiday, when there was some controversy about his holding a rally near the Lincoln Memorial as part of the Rolling Thunder part of Memorial Day with all the bikers. A lot of folks took issue with that and said that it was politicizing the most somber day, celebrating the fallen and this country's heroes. So he'll be explaining that, and we expect him to attack Hillary Clinton, as he has been increasingly in the last couple of weeks. And then from here, it's back to California for another series of rallies in the Golden State, where he plans to additionally raise some money. And he'll be asked about that as well. There's a lot of organizational questions for the Trump campaign. There's been some upheaval with staff. There's been some internal strife. And as a consequence of some of the lack of organization internally with the team, there's a perception around the country, particularly with state Republican parties, that perhaps they're not getting the necessary resources and attention that the party's standard bearer should be providing to them to help down ballot candidates, which is to say House and Senate candidates, gubernatorial candidates, and any Republican candidate who might be asked about the Trump agenda and the Trump presidential candidacy in the remaining 5 or so months before the November election, John.
All right, so that is scheduled to get underway any minute now, right, Carl?
Any second now, he'll come downstairs and we'll get started. We're told we'll get questions, but there have been occasions when he said he's going to have a press conference and he comes and makes a statement and a bit of a speech and then leaves. One never knows with Donald Trump. It's the most unpredictable presidential candidate anybody covering it has ever experienced, and he likes it that way, John.
All right, well, he will keep us guessing. We'll have it for you live. Carl Cameron, thank you.
You bet.
So as